Okay.
Think we might be live. YouTube hasn't started yet though.
Okay. Well, we're gonna wait for YouTube.
I'm gonna check the Twitter too.
Okay.
I didn't even think about that one honestly. Yep, we're on Twitter. We're live. We're live,
Okay.
pal.
All
Yep,
right.
YouTube's up now too. So let's go ahead and get to double or nothing. We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Lots and lots and lots to talk about. Let's start with the first match. Did you want to start with your thoughts?
Yeah. So the pre-show match, or you want to just go straight to the pay-per-view?
You can talk about the pre-show match. I only caught like the tail end of it. But if you want to give your thoughts, I mean, it was just a match as far as I was concerned. I wasn't like super into it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, I was into it for the most part. I think it went a little long. The
Yeah,
Jeff Hardy stuff was weird, but supposedly that was all a work. His knee is not hurt. I
that's
was
what I
convinced
read
he
as
hurt his
well.
knee.
That's what Matt said. Yeah, I heard about that as well. Matt said that it was just a work spot, and that they botched the work spot basically.
Yeah, that's so weird. I mean, he did it well. If that was the plan,
Yeah,
should looked real. But yeah, and I mean, I thought he was hurt, and I thought maybe that's why it was like kind of dragging. Like I thought Hook. I think there was a point they were just beating on Hook forever, which never happens. And I was like, I
yeah,
don't know, maybe Jeff's really hurt or something. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, it was fine. Glad they won because I'm really excited what they do with Ethan. I love that angle, like probably way more than most people.
yeah. I've liked the character development for Ethan as well, even if like most of it's been on YouTube or Dark and undercard stuff. So most people probably have no idea what's going on there. But I like that part of it too. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. Matt's obviously going to join them, so I'm assuming he's going to go back to being a baby face, which would be good. I think he's better as that, anyways. So we'll
Yeah.
see. The result was obviously not surprising.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that though. So let's just move on to the main card, which
Yeah,
had
the main
such
card's
a
where all the good
crazy
stuff
battle
is.
royal.
One of
Like,
my favorite battle royals I've ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. It was just really that good for me, at least.
yeah, the only thing I do still kind of wish they would have done like a casino thing to like stagger the entrance because they just had them
Yes.
fight on the outside instead, which that worked fine, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I always find it a bit odd when a match starts with 21 people in it, whether they're inside or outside or whatever. Like you said, the staggered entrances might have added some drama. I understand why they did it to save on time, and I did appreciate that part to keep the pay per view a bit tighter than usual, which was good. But other than that, I had a lot of stuff I liked about this match. Starting with the finish was like perfect. It was like a very
Oh
Orange
God,
Cassidy
yes.
thing. All the drama with Swerve at the end. You think he's going to hit a big move, and then he just kind of nonchalantly kicks his hand and he drops to the floor and wins. And I thought that was a perfect way to wrap up the match. Again, like I said, perfect for Orange Cassidy. Um, Swerve looked really good in that match, and they're setting up a feud, which we're going to talk on the Dynamite part of the podcast too. So I thought that was good. That whole match did a good job of like kind of continuing a few other feuds. Another one was the Ricky feud with DC Gold.
Yeah.
Ricky did manage to eliminate both of them, which was a big thing. And then there's some stuff that happened after that we'll talk a bit later in the pay per view. But it all flowed into the later part of the pay per view and into Dynamite, which I thought was really well done from that aspect. It covered a lot of people. I also thought Big Bill looked awesome in this match, which was a thing I wanted to hit on. That was great. And then as well, they kind of booked him on Dynamite the following.
Yeah, I think they
Awesome.
look like they're really going to start using him a lot more.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about
We'll
that.
see.
I think he's worked really hard. He looked really good in this match. It was shocking that they put him in the top four or the final
I still
four
don't
spot.
know what I would do with him though, honestly. Like for a feud,
Yeah, I'm
maybe.
not
Like I
sure,
want to see more of him, but I find it hard to like fantasy book a lot of
especially
stuff.
now that the firm is like unofficially officially done, but he's still kind of. Is he getting
Yeah.
managed by Stoke? I think he's still managed by Stoke. Technically.
No, I don't think Stokely's been
involved at
around since
all?
that deletion. I think
That's
maybe we'll
true.
find out his stuff on Collision, but
That
he's
would
still
make
teaming
sense
with Lee
too.
Moriarty, though. I'm pretty
With
sure.
Lee,
I think
okay,
he has
okay.
been. Yeah, which
In either
they're fun
case,
together, so I'm fine with that. But
yeah, yeah. In either case, I'm really happy with what they're doing with Big Bill. I think that they've slowly taken their time, and he
yeah,
was still pretty protected. He got a lot of eliminations this match too.
I actually sent a video too of that finish to the Battle Royal, the Orange Cassidy like kick to one of my friends that knows nothing about wrestling, pretty much, and she thought it was the funniest shit ever, and
Yeah, it's
started
perfect.
sending more Orange Cassidy stuff. Like she freaked out when she saw his entrance with the one pyro.
Oh man, the first time I saw that, I legitimately thought they botched his entrance. And then I thought about it, I'm like, okay, maybe they're just doing an OC thing where it's just like one lazy pyro, and then they did it again. I was like, that's perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything
So,
else from the match that I want to hit on specifically. I think that was really it. Other than I thought it was really great, but I'll let you give your thoughts on it too.
yeah, no, I pretty much just agree with what you said. I like how they further the feuds. I mean, even like the fact that everyone didn't start in the ring, as like kind of dumb conceptually that is, did make the match better because they were able to do stuff in and out without it being
Yeah,
too crowded. Um, but it was funny seeing Swerve just bide his time. But basically, I think he came in, and when he did, he was like trying to eliminate Keith Lee or something, and just like instantly
yeah,
backfired. So I'm like, he waited all that time.
for nothing, for
Yeah.
nothing. Just
It's like,
scheming and making funny faces on the
I think
outside.
Brian Cage did something similar too when he first came in a little before. He just instantly started getting beat up by someone.
Yeah, Brian looked pretty good in this match. It was cool that Penta was in the final four as well.
I saw someone joke around that they think Brian Cage, someone keeps shrinking his gear every week slightly without telling him, seeing if he'll ever notice.
Yeah, he's looking pretty bulky, and yeah, it's definitely like smallish gear, but he looked good. Yeah, I've liked his work. Like we've talked about this before, that we think like he's just every week he's kind of just doing his thing and looking good since a bit before he resigned. I'd say
Yeah,
he
yeah.
looked pretty
Ever
good.
since he came back after he took that time off, I don't remember if he was hurt or just wasn't being used for a little bit. But I thought he's looked a lot better because
Yeah,
I didn't care for him much at all during his first run.
no,
But I
and
think every match he's had since has been good.
has been great. Yeah, I think
They
so
started
too.
like spamming dynamite matches for him for a little bit there too, like towards the beginning of the year, which was
Yeah, right
weird,
before he
but they were
signed.
good. Yeah,
Probably just giving him TV time to maybe incite him a little bit is what that felt like to me at least.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no,
He
he's
even
looked
fought
great.
Danielson.
He's been booked a lot better, even in losses. I thought like he's been used better in matches that make more sense for him too. So I think that's helped him. And I think yeah, a big thing I found in his previous booking, like they kind of botched the face turn for him when Ricky was the more popular guy in the faction. They I don't think that helped him at all. That wasn't really
And
his
then
fault.
Ricky killed him on Twitter. Just that
Yeah,
was
he
bad.
did. He did. It wasn't a good matchup for him. I don't think. Not in that role.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the next match,
Ugh.
Jericho and
Um,
Cole?
I have mixed feelings on the match. I think would be the most fair way to put it. I don't think it was a complete crap show like some people felt it was. Like I don't think it was like a 1-star match. But it was I don't think it was like a great match. I think it was like a mediocre to okay match. It had some stuff that worked, some stuff that really did not work, including the finish. Mostly the finish, really. That was like really bad. And like it needed
Yeah.
blood. This match needed blood really bad, and it did not have any,
I
and it hurt.
genuinely think that Cole was trying to bust Jericho
Me
open hard
too.
way at the end
Me too. And it didn't work.
because
And
those
and
punches were actually landing, but he's too nice. They were not strong punches.
I
Like,
know.
you could tell he was really actually hitting him. It was not working.
And I think like him being too nice and not looking like he was hitting hard, it kind of like encapsulate the problem I had with the match as a whole,
I
which
laughed
is
so hard.
like they were doing cool stuff, but it didn't look like they were really trying to hurt each other that bad, and that kind of hurt. And I understand, I can see some reasons why. I don't know really why it didn't quite land for me or for them. Like obviously the crowd didn't like it either.
It killed the crowd.
It did. It killed the crowd for 3 matches, unfortunately. And that's on a bit on them. What can you do? I don't think the crowd was as bad for the whole show as some people say it was. Um,
I genuinely did not notice watching it live. Like I
I
thought
could,
it was fine. I mean, I thought they died during this match. Then they booed the finish, but I really did not think they were that bad after. Except they were pretty quiet during the House of Black match. That was
they
the only.
were, they were, and
Well, we'll get to that.
they were quiet for the beginning of the FTR match as well a little bit, but they
Yeah,
that kind of got him back into it. But regardless, like it did have a cool table spot with Sabu. That spot was great. I thought like the beginning of the match was kind of cool when Sabu and Jericho had a little like chair fight. That was cool. I didn't mind that at all. I did find the match was a bit plotting though. Like the pace was very slow, and it
yeah.
didn't lead up to. I think again talking about the finish, it had a slow plotting pace, but it didn't lead to like a good finish. So you kind of just felt like you got nothing at the end. Unfortunately, the chain spot I thought was good. With like even though like he was like falling all over it, I thought like using it
Oh
for
yeah, where he
finishing.
wrapped it around his knee.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was a
Yeah,
good spot. That was a good spot. And I also thought that despite the finish, like what they did later in the show with it and what it's led to on Dynamite was good. So it's not like it ended up being they managed to salvage this pretty okay by the end of the angle, at least, in my opinion. Oh, new background.
yeah. Just gonna experiment with that real quick because I just noticed we were like a highway. There we go. I like this.
Yeah, that's all right. That's cool.
All right, cool. But yeah, so back to that match. I thought the funniest part was the most violent thing in the match was Britt just destroying Jericho with
Oh my
that.
god,
She
yes, I
tried to
forgot
hit
about that.
Saraya with the kendo stick after, but she already broke it over Jericho. I was like, oh god, she's about to poke her eye out or something with a shine.
She beat the living hell out of him with that stick. Like he had massive welts on Twitter. There, I think he was showing some pictures.
Yeah, I saw
Brit's
those.
always great, man. Brit always brings it, no matter what. Like when it's her time, and again, I thought she did really good in the post match there, where they had an altercation to set up a mixed tag on Wednesdays. So yeah. Other than that, like I said, the match itself was like but it is what it is. It kind of like hurt the crowd, but I thought the next match actually really picked it up.
Yeah, me too. And I'm glad that match was second anyway, so we can get it over with and
Oh,
just move on to the stuff I
speaking
care
of
more
that,
about.
speaking of being on the second spot, it kind of made it kind of funny that like that's the like that spot that Jericho talks about that he got put on
Oh yeah.
Mania KO. So it's kind of ironic he got put on that spot,
Oh my god.
and it ended
That's
up
funny.
bombing. So there's kind of some weird correlation there. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
the next match with FTR against what I'm going to call Planet Jared at this point. We just have to call it Planet Jared. It was awesome. I thought the pace of the match itself was pretty good. It started off a bit slow, but I thought it worked for the type of match they were working that more Southern style heel match. Which, I don't know. I really like those kinds of matches. As long as you don't have a pay per view full of those matches, I think they have like a really good place. And FTR is really good at them too. Let's see what I got. A few good spots on this match. All the double J tropes. Like we had the ref bump that we knew was gonna come, and then all the like crazy crap started happening. Obviously, the best part of the match for me, and probably from everyone, was Aubrey getting smoked in the head by Karen Jett with the guitar.
Bro, she killed her. And then I didn't even notice. I think it was on Rampage
She
when they replayed it.
fell.
So, yeah, that too. And then she threw the guitar on Aubrey after. Just the
She
whole
did.
time.
Yes,
She threw
yes.
it on him.
You're right. I only noticed that on the Rampage replay as well.
Because Aubrey's just laying there, and all of a sudden the guitar comes flying at her.
And then they actually got me really good when he hit when they got the belt shot. I thought Jarrett was actually going to win, and he hit the stroke too. Actually,
Done
he hit
that
the
so
belt
many
shot and hit the
times
stroke.
with Jarrett. Yes.
I was like, oh my god, he's actually going to do it! Like it's actually happening, and then it didn't happen. What did you think about the match?
Yeah, I liked it. It started a little slow, I guess, but it was like good slow to me. Like
Yeah,
I like just seeing
I agree.
Jarrett do shit like that, and then it was like I just call it the perfect amount of overbooked because
Yeah.
I mean it's a Jarrett match for mid card tag titles. Like it's perfect. This is the perfect time to do that stuff, not in the main event of your pay per view.
No, yeah, and here's perfect. The good nostalgia beats for sure.
Yeah, they did so many like just classic like tropes too.
Yeah,
Like the tag team one specifically, like you'd only see in like early '90s, late '80s kinds of stuff. So when Jarrett started, I guess.
pretty much. Yeah, like it was really good. Something else. Oh yes, they start calling it the Shatter Machine again, which is a big
Yeah,
thing.
they started that when they returned. I noticed.
When they return, okay. So I
Yeah.
wonder if they made a deal to like buy the rights to it again.
Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, because they weren't calling it that before.
They were calling it the Big Rig.
Well, before that though, because they changed that to a tribute for Brody, but they weren't calling it
Oh
Shatter Machine before. I
no,
forget
I
what
don't
they were
remember.
calling
They
it.
were calling it something else
Yeah,
for sure. It definitely wasn't Shatter Machine,
yeah.
and I hadn't noticed that these. So I'm wondering if they maybe like some sort of like deal was made or it ran out and they like rebought it or something like that. I don't know. It's interesting though.
You see, this curious if Jared or Triple H has the record for most usage of title belts to win their match.
Okay, so good. I wasn't like I
Oh
wasn't.
God! At the
It was
same
great.
freaking time period too, in two different companies.
I can't. It was wild. And I thought compared to I thought like other Jarrett matches that I've seen in AEW, some of them have been good. Some of them he's looked a bit slow. And this one he actually looked pretty good. I thought everybody looked good in this match.
Yeah, he's better in tags too, just for sure, because he can rest it,
Yeah,
every now and then,
yeah,
get
yeah.
them into his spots.
Uh,
But yeah, and I
Cash
like
Cash looked really good too. I thought he took some really
mhm.
crazy bumps.
I thought Mark Briscoe was amazing as ref. I mean, I didn't
Yes,
have any doubts,
yes, of
but
course.
he ate that guitar shot too.
There's so many guitar shots in that match.
Yeah, how many guitars did they even bring?
I, they at least broke. I want to say they broke at least two, maybe three.
Yeah, I think I remember Sanjay. He came out. I think he had two when he came out.
He had multiple pencils too,
Yeah.
for some odd
Oh
reason.
my god. Yeah,
And then
Sanjay's been the best here in this ride.
he's been fantastic. He's like such a great little addition to that team. You just want to see him get like I want him to eat a guitar shot at one point soon. He has to.
Oh my god, yeah. Even better if it's an accident, so you can see Jared's face
Yes.
after. Like,
Oh,
oh
of
shit.
course. His like perfect little. Oh man, it'd be great. Another thing too was the post match. I think it was pretty much right after or in between
Yeah,
the
FDR
match.
like booked it from the ring.
They booked it from the ring, and then they intercepted Ricky getting beat up by BC Gold, and then that was pretty interesting because I didn't really see that coming at all as a random pairing, I think. And then they kind of followed up with that on Dynamite and on Rat. So it sounds like we're getting, well, no, we are getting Jay and Ricky again, but we're definitely going towards an FTR versus BC Gold angle, which is
Yeah, and
pretty
I think
exciting.
according to the recent dirt sheet reports, the reason FTR may have been slotted in could lead to CM Punk too.
See, I hadn't read that reason, but that makes perfect sense to me. So I mean, which would
Yeah, I haven't
mean
seen it specifically. I'm filling in blanks because it did feel random, but that makes a lot of sense why it felt so random if that's the case.
and if that happens, it makes you wonder if like is Ricky gonna like double turn and go
Yeah.
with BC?
Yeah, I still don't think I prefer that, even though I think he'd be fine as a heel still. I think it'd be weird after how much they've just been beating the shit out of each other the last couple months at this point. But I think I'd kind of like Ricky just to
Yeah,
kind of move on, like win his match against Jay maybe and get something else going. Or, I mean, maybe
yeah,
they can
could
just
do
even
that.
get four people. I don't know. But yeah,
It's
like,
yeah, I kind of want Ricky to keep going on his face run, which is kind of my thing. I kind of want him to keep like reaching that next level of him being a face and maybe getting some even higher quality opponents. Because
yeah, he gets great reactions. I think it'd almost be a waste to turn him heel again at this point.
I think so too, and I really don't think that like BC Gold needs like. Don't get me wrong, like those three guys on the mic in the same stable would be like a powerhouse, but it's a bit overkill too. Like, do you really need that many good guys on the mic? On like you can Ricky can do his own
Yeah.
thing. I agree with you there. I think Ricky can do his own thing, and they can maybe get some like more foot soldiers in there, probably from New Japan, really.
Yeah, even if they just like poaching people from Strong, because it's not like they don't have as much to do now since they're not doing their
That's
actual
true. Yeah.
weekly TV show.
Yeah, and I mean, like, eventually some of those like graduates, quote unquote, like they need to go somewhere and do something, right? And
Yeah,
usually,
like I
and
mean, they did. Finley did get his and Clark Connors.
exactly, so that's what I'm saying. Like usually, like those guys end up being drafted by whichever faction in Japan. So it would make sense if a couple more got drafted to Bullet Club Gold or somewhere, even if it's temporarily. It'd be cool.
Yeah, there's still you got Coughlin. You have I guess
Okay,
Kevin Knight's
true.
kind of under Kushida's wing right now, but he's not like in like an official faction or anything. And I don't DKC. They announced that he is actually a trainer now at
Interesting.
the the what are they calling it now? The academy. So he like just graduated. So I guess that he graduated to be a trainer.
Trainer. Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, Bay and Ace too. They had like names thrown around a lot for Bullet Club Gold
Who's that?
possibly. And Chris Bay and Ace Austin
Oh
Impact.
yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm just not sure like how down Impact would be to like loan some people for a pay-per-view they're not involved in. I
Yeah,
personally would love it. I'm just not
they
sure how the
keep getting
logistics would
asked
work.
about it themselves too. Like
Well,
they're
everybody
constantly
wants
asked
it.
about it.
Like, no offense to anybody else in Bullet Club, but it's like what everybody wants to see is those two guys. Those two guys are like amazing, especially with the Tongans like not around anywhere. They're kind of like their best tag team they have. And Finlay by himself is Finlay by himself, but they don't really have like any like who else do they have right now? Kenta, I guess about it.
Yeah, you mean for
And
like more
Evil.
like main event kind of talent? Yeah, I mean Evil, I would barely consider that, but
No,
yeah.
Evil and they're kind of just like affiliates too.
Oh yeah, to answer that strong point in the chat though, I think you're kind of seeing that because there was more AEW people on the last show. It's just weird now because they don't film stuff for a weekly TV show. They just show replays of their live pay-per-views for the weekly show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really feels like it's mostly died to me because I'm not watching it weekly anymore. It's just it's just New Japan American pay-per-views now every now and then, which are great, but
Yeah, and basically what you get in on Fight Plus, I think, is just the it's episodic, but it's just like the pay per view chopped up, right?
yeah, that for the new episodes, I did see they
Yeah,
added the whole library, so
which is
that you have
cool.
the
The
whole
library is
cast one,
awesome.
which was that's great stuff on there.
Yeah, that part's
You can
cool.
watch
Yeah.
that show that they did here in Dallas that I didn't go to. So I couldn't. I ended up not being able to that weekend anyway, but I'd already decided I wasn't going. They had about like 120 people, and they ran the same arena that AEW always runs for Dynamite.
Oh no.
It was they blacked out as much as they could for those tapings. It was
I felt
bad.
bad. I remember seeing like that was a while ago. I remember that, but yeah, they had
They
just
had
in Dallas
Suzuki,
too
like
much.
so many people. I think Osprey may have even been
I think he might have been,
there.
but nobody wants to go to that show. Unfortunately, it's too bad. They
They were
had
just
just done too
I mean,
many
the market
shows.
was just yeah, it was so oversaturated by that point
Yeah, exactly.
because you could really just run like Texas and a couple other states then.
Yeah, that's too bad. Hopefully we'll get to see some good New Japan stuff coming up this week.
Yeah. What was the next match though? What do we got for
Next
number
match,
one?
we got a short one. It was the Storm against Hater match, which
Oh,
wasn't
I
really a
forgot that was so
match.
early.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
it wasn't really a match. She got beat. She got beat up on the ramp. She got beat up outside the ring. She got
I'm
thrown
hoping
into the
since
steps.
Hater did get so, beat up that whole match that she's not actually that hurt.
I'm
Just hurt
hoping
enough that
so.
she needed to go ahead and drop the title. Because yeah, they're still kicking her ass. They're really hitting the shoulder. Maybe the shoulder's the kayfabe part, and she
Yeah,
actually has
it could be
something
something
else.
else. Yeah,
But like, God,
yeah. I think the match went like 2 minutes. Not even. I don't think it went even 2 minutes.
yeah, I think it was like a minute 40 or something. I
Yeah.
want to say I saw.
So, but
And
we have a new
honestly, I
women's
mean,
champion.
like parts of it, I mean, were okay for the length, but even then, there was at the end, when Tony went to throw Jamie into that the exposed turnbuckle,
Yeah,
she didn't really, and Jamie just ran into it herself, like
I
with
know.
like no force, and I was like,
She,
oh god,
she
I don't know
ran
what
into it
happened there,
herself, and she
but it
like
sucks. Yeah,
She didn't
such a
really do like
short
the head back.
match.
Yeah, she didn't even
That's
get a
what I
chance to do the head
remember.
back thing. It was bad.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. I mean, whatever. She's injured. They need to do what they did. I don't
Yeah,
really
I'm glad
have like
Tony's
much
champion. So
that I am glad. I don't really have an opinion on the match itself because it wasn't really a match. I'm fine with the decision though, and I think Tony getting a chance to have like a quote unquote official title, even though they retconned her last title as official. Like retconned or not, it wasn't official live, so it didn't feel official to her at the time.
yeah.
So I think this will be good, and I think she'll have some good matches. She's a workhorse, so her matches are going to be good.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, I'd let her keep it if Jamie can go. Like, even if Jamie's ready sooner, I'd hold off till Wembley and just do it
Why
then. Let Tony
not?
have his reign.
There's no rush. Like Tony can hold the belt and wrestle someone at Forbidden Door. She's more than capable.
Yeah, like
And
her interim and now official reign was just amazing. Like she was
yeah,
wrestling almost every week on TV.
she's
Really
doing the
good
Mox
worker.
run basically.
Yeah,
So
got
she
to
was
sell the
great.
interim title is legit.
She did a good job. So I do think she did earn another run at it, even if like some people might feel it feels a bit hollow that she's always getting picked as like the second choice. But hey, man, it's not the worst spot to be in. It still means the company really trusts you. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they did it over her, over like Ruby or Soraya. So
oh please not. Yeah, Soraya's not ready. Not
no,
at all.
that that would
She's
be
getting
that would
better,
be
but
also
she's
a
not
joke of a
ready.
reign.
No, she's definitely not ready to be the not with the lineage that this belt has had. It has to have, a champion that could put on like strong matches or a strong performance at the very least. And I don't think she's quite there yet. I do think she might be there one day, but right now, no.
Yeah. We actually skipped over the ladder match though. That was before
Oh
the
yeah,
women's
you're
one.
right. We did
Yeah.
skip over that. That was like
I,
it's a good match.
like,
Go ahead
yeah,
first.
I think I actually liked it most. I think I liked it more than most people even. I really liked just almost everything in that match, except for that one spot where Wardlow broke the ladder. That was scary. But
I mean, it was really cool, but it was like I was
no, they
worried that
saved
he.
it. But I thought he broke his leg too.
Yeah, I was really worried. I was worried he was going to keep like following through, or that he was going to insist climbing it. And I was
Yeah,
like, dude,
did you
just get a
see
new
too?
just get a new
I
ladder.
didn't.
It's cool.
I didn't see it until someone pointed it out, and I went back and found it. One of the refs were like gonna like hold the ladder, and I mean it was so broken. I don't even think that would have worked. He was like, no, no. And he's like,
No,
give me
no,
a new
no.
ladder, and they slid one into the ring.
Yeah, they actually did, which is hilarious. I mean, kayfabe wise,
Yeah,
it's weird that the refs would give him another ladder, but hey, it's
I
fine.
mean,
We all
if he's
understand what
like that
happened
chilling to
there.
me, I would give them the ladder.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to Wardlow. Absolutely
But
not.
yeah, I thought Wardlow did some crazy
The
spots.
swanton was insane. Like he got
Yeah,
so much air on that swanton,
that
and
was
like
straight up. It reminds me of the one I think Jeff Hardy did it. And I've done it a million times, but like specifically, vividly, because I watched it so much as a kid, and like I think it was WrestleMania 2000. He did one off a huge ladder on the stage.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that video of that's like ingrained into my mind because I watched it so much when I was little. Yeah, and I'm glad they had the two tables because he cleared the first one. He needed that second one, or he would have broke his
Oh
ass.
yeah, he needed it to like roll over. It looked great too. Like the table broke perfectly. It looked like brutal, but still like somewhat safe. So it wasn't like that was stupid. I mean, it was a bit stupid, but still, like
Yeah, and
it's
Christian
all.
didn't take too many bad bumps. He had one where like I don't remember what exactly Wardlow was doing. He was like spinning him or something, and he just dropped him, and he landed like right on a ladder, and I was just like, holy
Oh
fuck!
yeah, yeah. He gave him like it wasn't like a blue thunder bomb, but like a spinning airplane drop,
Yeah, he just like picked him up
fireman
and just
drop
started
thing.
spinning him. He didn't even have him in like a real like hold or anything. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a reverse fireman carry thing, and he just
And then
got
that ending
that was
power bomb
brutal.
was he had pretty hard on that too, but at least it was just one. Wasn't he didn't take a whole symphony. So
Yeah, there's no need for him to take more than one. I did love his the reverse DDT off the ladder onto the ring. That was
oh
amazing.
yeah, that's a
That looked
classic.
great. Yeah, Christian didn't take too many ones, but the ones he did take looked great. I thought this did a good. We didn't talk about zombie Arn as
Oh, that was weird.
well. That's the
Before,
part I didn't like
like,
about the match. That's the only part I didn't like about the match.
I did not see like a blood pack or anything, but there was one there. Like people pointed
Of
out after.
course.
I was like, did this crazy fucker really just bite this dude's thumb like that? Like that was my live
Can you
reaction.
imagine if he actually did it for real? Oh my god.
Like, oh my god, yeah, that was weird. And then his face after, like,
I mean, like,
yeah,
I just don't get. I don't get this pairing really. I don't know if other people like it. I don't know. I personally think it's a miss. I think Wardlow winning was great. I think the Wardlow outside of the arm part, the way he won was great, and whatever. But I don't know. This arm stuff's not really hitting for me personally. I don't really
it's
get it.
whatever to me. I like his promos still with Wardlow, but I don't need him as involved in the matches.
Yeah, like I thought that Wardlow would have looked better winning without Arn. I get why they had Arn, but I don't know. I
Yeah, well,
don't.
he only countered Luchasaurus mostly, so that part's kind of okay. But also, like, why is he a Luchasaurus counter? He's like
That's
70.
exactly it. I don't really believe that Luchasaurus would kill him. I guess he kind of did, but like still.
Yeah, I mean, the thumb biting spot was like kind of a way to circumvent that because they just had him go full, zombie. That's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna take care of anyone.
I also think like maybe it could have been placed better because like they already had a bunch of overbooking in the Jeff Jarrett match, and then they had more overbooking in this.
Yeah,
There's a bit of like samey stuff. They could have spread that out a bit better, I think. But that's one of the like not major, one of the minor like negatives about this show that I had was that I thought they like maybe booked a little too much, like not overbooking, but a lot of like gimmick stuff, a lot of gimmick matches, and I
yeah.
thought
They
that
they literally
eluded.
Tony booked it like I would book like my SmackDown versus Raw 2006 GM mode when I was 10. And I was like, "Oh, it's pay per view. I gotta have all the matches, and they cost extra money too. That's how I was always going fucking bankrupt so quick."
Yeah, it's like it's like that in the new 2K series as well. Like all the extra bells and whistles on the matches cost a lot of money. But it was just I thought like it could have used maybe a little less. It was a bit short too. I found this specific.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 minutes or something, but
Yeah, which was okay, but I wouldn't have minded like a little bit longer. But still, yeah, it was a good match. What do we have next?
you have 17 minutes actually.
Was
I was
7?
looking at the
Okay,
time.
okay,
Yeah,
maybe that's actually not too bad. That's a pretty good
yeah,
time.
That's not that bad. I
Maybe
mean,
they
after
just
that though,
feel.
I got the card up. It was the open house rules for the 6-man tag where
Yeah,
they did the rope break rule, but the Acclaim did not take advantage of picking their own rule for some
which
reason that I'm
was
not aware of.
well. I mean, they acted all cocky that they
Yeah.
didn't need one, and then they got their fucking ass kicked.
I
Like,
mean, I
excuse
think
my
they're gonna do a
language, but
rematch anyway with the way the Dynamite segment worked. I think they're gonna do
yeah,
another one.
I'm not excited
Maybe this
for it.
time they'll be smart and like pick like a advantageous rule, but
Yeah,
they lost
maybe
clean, right? Like Julia didn't get involved or anything, so it's
no,
like,
no. Like, Daddy
yeah,
Ass took a kick to the face, and that was it.
he had a great hot tag, came in there for about 30 seconds, and then got kicked in the face
Yeah,
and lost.
I didn't really get booking it like that. That was a bit odd. I don't know that match. Like, it's one of those weird matches where I have nothing negative to say about the match, really.
It was just
But
there.
but it was just there. Yeah, it just kind of
Yeah.
happened, and like, yeah, which I guess to be honest, like, it's kind of how I felt about like this feud in general.
Well, the way they did it
Kinda
with
there.
as an open challenge, and the announcers all sounded shocked when the Acclaimed came out was really weird.
Yeah,
A lot of
after
people were
they
really confused because they were like, "I thought that was the booked match. Technically, it never was."
yeah, even though they won a battle royal anyways, which was like clearly to set
And
up.
then cut multiple promos on them.
Yeah, it was just I don't know why they did it that way instead of just like having a feud. And then like they could have had a feud while House of Black still did the open challenge thing. It wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah,
So that,
exactly.
yeah, the build to this was weird, and I think that kind of translated into the match kind of being like just there.
Oh, this actually says Tony versus Jamie went 3 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm just on Wikipedia though,
Oh wow,
but
that's
I
interesting.
mean it's still short. But
Yeah,
they
I
were
mean
brawling outside the ring for a while too. Who knows? Maybe the bell rang a little earlier than I
it could have.
expected.
Yeah, and they did the spray paint spot too.
Yeah. But after that, it was Jade versus Taya for the TBS title.
Yes,
I thought
this
that one
is
was really good.
me too. This is actually where the pay per view really picked it up for me. Like other than the Battle Royale, which I really liked, it was Battle Royal. But this match I really liked. I thought Taya looked really strong in this match. Despite what some people said about what happened afterwards, I thought Taya looked great. I thought Jade, this was one of her best matches, easily.
I thought the false finish where Taya did hit that what she called the Road to Valhalla.
Road to Valhalla, yes.
The crowd bit on that so hard. I didn't even think it was gonna be the finish myself, but the way they were biting on it, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
maybe it is.
I didn't know she was gonna kick out. I wasn't 100% sure. I definitely thought Taya might just straight up win, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually
What
doing
surprised
it.
me was that Taya didn't kick out of Jade's right after, because it was
Yes.
right after Jade hit it. Thought they were gonna both do it and then go a little more, and then Jade would hit it again or something. But
that's what I was expecting as well.
No
Yeah,
big
something
deal. I
along.
was just like, oh shit, that's over.
Yeah, it did end quickly, but then we kind of found out why afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought everybody looked great in this match. I thought Jade's entrance was awesome as well.
Yeah, I like
little
that Jade
dance
entrance
thing.
a lot.
And Taya had a really weird artsy entrance with like people in leather and stuff too, which was pretty cool. So I thought both women.
It was Alley Catch on Twitter was like, she tagged Taya. She was like, "Can you hook me up with those women that were in your entrance?" Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Alley Catch.
It was Vegas vibes.
Yeah, it did have that like Vegas kind of Cirque du Soleil weirdness to it. But I thought both women were presented as big deals, which I thought was important. Especially that they went on later than the world title because the match went short.
And then, it's definitely presented as the bigger women's match too.
It was, and I think that they did a good job presenting it that way, which was good for everybody involved. And then we had the big reveal, which Jade won. Mark Sterling got in the ring and talked his usual shit about how Jade's invincible and she's 60-0 and she takes on all comers at any time, even right now. And then we had a huge Chris Statlander return, which got a huge pop. We all knew. I don't know about you, but I think the second she came out, we knew she was going to win the belt. I don't think there was any doubt.
I wasn't 100% sure they were actually going to do the match. No,
fair enough.
I knew she was going to win. And I know they had established that Jade wrestling multiple times stuff before, which I liked because they kind of set that up. But I still thought something was going to happen. The ref was going to get taken out,
and she'd run away.
Kind of like what they did with Taya on Rampage when she came out after like the 2 matches in a row. I thought they were going to do
right. That's fair enough.
And they just rang the bell, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like this, and in the second the bell rang, I'm like, okay, well she's winning the belt right now. Even though they actually got me because I thought like she started off hot and then went for a big suplex and Jade countered and hit the big boot. I'm like, oh no, it's happening again.
Normally, I never like those like almost cheap title wins like that, especially for a face. But this just ruled. Like I have literally no complaints. Everything about it was done so well, and I mean, it further proves that Chris was the plan. Like a year ago,
we were all correct.
And he really waited the entire time to have her beat Jade.
This Tony guy, but I'm kind of glad he did. Honestly, even though like there was some lull periods, I think Chris is the right person. I think they're gonna make Chris into a megastar, which is awesome. And I don't know. I agree with you that like in most cases, as a general rule of thumb, I don't like a face winning cheap from a challenge.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like Hulk Hogan against Yokozuna.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that. I did see that comparison as well. But because Chris was injured for so long, and they had already started building towards Jade and Chris before that.
Yep.
Multiple times, and it kept getting derailed. So I think in this specific case, with this context, it was perfectly done. And like the crowd obviously agreed. The crowd was super happy, and she was still over on Dynamite, which was just further proves that it was the right decision. And Jade's gonna be fine.
So I was going to ask, what do you think they're going to do with Jade next? Because I noticed she wasn't on Dynamite this week, obviously.
I did read she was going to take some time off. Whatever that means, who knows? I mean, that's fine. I don't really need to see her on Forbidden Door anyways, quite frankly. It's unnecessary. Unless they had like something really cool planned.
She wasn't even on it last year anyway.
I don't believe she was. I believe it was Tony against Rosa, wasn't it? Pretty sure I was there.
Yeah, that was the
Pretty sure
only
that's what
women's match. Yeah, that was the first
yeah,
one they did where Rosa won.
it was, and everybody was sad. Unfortunately, they should have
I
made it.
know.
They should have
I
changed
think
it
Cody
there.
had like just been there, but yeah, it would have been better in hindsight. But I wasn't mad at the time. Like,
Yeah, Rosa was still doing okay,
it
but
was a good match too, though. Just reminded me of it.
it
Actually, I
was
think I
good.
remember being like a little surprised. Like it was better than I expected, even especially on that card when it definitely wasn't one of the most hyped ones because it was just a AEW versus AEW.
No, you're right. That match they kind of feel kind of like tacked onto the pay per view at the time.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some Stardom talent this time, so they
Please,
don't have to
please.
only use AEW's roster.
Well, they do have a New
Let
Japan.
Willow defend her title at least.
They do have a New Japan Pro Wrestling champion on the women's side on their roster, so they better at the very least get
Yes.
Willow a match. That would be upset if they did not. But yeah, it was cool. Like stat was great. Super over. Awesome moment.
She looked jacked too. Like,
well, she looked great.
Girl's arms are huge now.
Oh yeah, she's in great shape. I did see her like she's been like showing like workout videos for a couple of months now on Instagram. So I'm not surprised she's looking in peak physical form. What we have next is the 4-way next, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 4 pillars match, which that went 27 minutes and 50 seconds. It did not feel that long to me. I mean, I knew they got good time, but wow.
It did not feel like half an hour. Absolutely not. It felt like a sprint to me the whole time. And I mean that in the most complimental way. Like the match was awesome. I think that first and foremost, while the build might have not helped everybody in this match, the match itself definitely helped everybody. Like everybody came out of the match looking great. I did have in my notes, like especially Sammy. Sammy looked really, really good in this match. This is the best match he's had in a
everyone's
long time.
just raving over Sammy all week.
Yeah, he looked great, man.
Funny. I mean, I thought he looked great too, but honestly, I mean,
he always
I've never
does.
had an issue with him. Yeah, like I was like, this is a main event Sammy performance. He's gonna do this stuff when you put him in these matches.
But I thought his pacing
he might get hurt doing it,
too.
but he's gonna do it.
Yeah, I thought his selling was good. He did good with the little spot where MJF asked him to lay down and he like kind of played along and then we all knew he was going to do it. But yeah, he looked amazing. MJF like screaming a bunch of stuff before moves happened to him was one of my favorite parts of the match. Yeah. This guy's so hilarious, so entertaining. And there was a lot of psychology in this match too for like a sprint match.
It was very choreographed too, and I mean that like a good way
because
they got to each spot like when they needed to, and basically make sure everyone was mostly had something to do for the most part until like towards the end, and some people were just dying after big spots. But it wasn't like your regular 4-way.
No, there wasn't a lot of people like there wasn't the usual like 2 people get taken out on the outside right off the bat, and then 2 people fight in the ring.
I think that's what you have to do too. Because I noticed it when I watched Battleground too with the 3-way they did for the North American title. It also was like you could tell very choreographed. I think that's just what you had to do for these 3- and 4-way matches because
if you want it to be that kind of
quality, it keeps everyone busy and like no weird resting on the outside. And I mean, as long as you don't miss the spots, because then it looks so hokey. That's the negative.
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. But they did it right, and like everybody played their parts really, really well. I thought the story of Darby continuously trying to hit the headlock takeover on MJF to get his revenge was great. Never worked out for him, and it actually cost him the match. I love that
feud.
It cost him the match because at one point he hit a coffin drop, and instead of going for the pin right away, he went for the takeover, and then like other stuff happened, and then he didn't get the win there. Sammy losing because he's just doing crazy stuff. That makes perfect sense to me. And then, of course, the Jungle Boy refusing to use the belt, and then MJF having absolutely.
He was booed for not using the belt.
I know. Everybody thought he was a wiener for doing that, and I agree. He was a wiener for
Darby too, who's like probably the most over face in the match. Or yeah, definitely is.
Yeah, but they're like everybody wants him. Like, dude, come on! It's there's a no disqualification match on top of that. Like, he can't. Darby would have had no trouble using that belt. I think.
Yeah, and he would have got cheered for it.
Absolutely, he would have gotten cheered for it. But yeah, and then like the finish was just amazing too. Like he refuses to use the belt. MJF gets in there and puts the belt where Darby's about to land, and then just hits a headlock takeover and wins after doing a heinous face at the camera. Such a troll finish and perfect for that feud, perfect for MJF, and it's setting up a lot of potentially interesting things going forward, especially for Jungle Boy, who I think is about to turn heel imminently.
He needs to. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think he's probably gonna turn heel and Hook, which that'll get
Yeah,
him big heat, so that'd be fine. Um, I don't know when the best timing for it would be. I feel like it almost needs to just be soon, but you don't want to like. I don't know. The crowd's ready for it.
you don't need to rush it, but I think, like we were talking after Dynamite, that the way he was like holding onto the chair during Dynamite, looking at Hook, and then letting it go as soon as like he would turn around. They're definitely doing some stuff on purpose there to make it look like he's going to turn. How quickly he's going to turn, I think it's going to be pretty quick, but he definitely needs it. He needs some sort of character change. Maybe he joins Bullet Club.
See, that actually would not be. I could see that happening. Put him in like a nice suit or something. Have him be like
I
that kind of
mean,
heel.
Jay could take him under his wing.
But one thing though, if he does turn, do you think they change his theme song? Tony spent a lot of money on that.
I think they have to.
Yeah,
I think unlike Jericho,
it's
with
not like
Jer-
Judas. I don't think you could pull it
because
off.
Judas is like it's ironically good, right? Like people like singing along to it, but like it kind of works. The lyrics itself as well work as a bad guy. That
Well,
song is
Jericho even set his kayfabe for why he still uses it, even though they sing along, is because Tony Khan has to pay him royalties every time he uses it. That's his heel kayfabe.
That's just smart. But yeah, I think with Jungle Boy, I would probably change his theme to something a bit more.
They should just do like the gimmick where they like warp or like distort the song and just add like a Bullet Club intro to it or something.
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be all right. They could find something. Also, that question: if he turns heel, like, does he reunite with Luchasaurus?
That'd be okay. I would like him to reunite with Christian for sure. And I
That
guess
would be
Luchasaurus is there too, so they could do heel Jurassic Express. But I think I would like him reuniting with Christian again, like being like, "I see what you were talking
you
about,"
were
or whatever.
right. You were right the whole time.
I feel
That
like
would
he's
be
gonna be a
interesting.
really moody heel. Like he's just gonna be all like emo and stuff.
Almost like a bit like a Raven, almost.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't exactly thinking that, but yeah, kind of the same general vibes. Probably not near as cool.
I mean, you can make him wear like something like this, and he would look very '90s emo. '90s emo and goth is pretty in right now, so it might work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it would be interesting though, but what else happened in that match? Or what else can we talk about that match? That would
The only other real specific spot that I remember that I really liked was when they did the finishers of all their mentors and MJF even
yes, that
busting
was
out a
very cool.
crossroads.
The
Yeah, that
crossroad
that
popped
was
me
cool.
huge. The crossroad
Yeah.
popped me huge. He should start using that as his finisher if he turns face.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
I would be huge on that.
Oh my god, he needs to give it a different name too, like but some troll name. Like I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm sure he can think of something good.
Yeah.
And like going out of the match, there's a few interesting things. Like, is Sammy going to turn face? Was he there on Dynamite? I don't think he was
No, I
booked.
don't think Sammy was on Dynamite at all.
I don't think
I
so
don't remember
either.
seeing him. Uh,
So where
was
that goes is interesting
yeah,
because Jericho hasn't acknowledged the fact that he's acting more face-ish as well. Jericho was not involved at all in that feud or
yeah,
helping
they've
at
had
all
no
either.
interaction in weeks, which is kind of weird.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's
They're not going to drop it.
interesting.
They're going to do something. I just don't know what.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to do something, but it's unlike them to like not mention for that extent amount of time. Maybe they can kayfabe it that like Jericho was so focused in on Cole
Yeah,
and Sammy was focused in on the main title, which is fine. But they do have to address it sooner than
yeah, at
later.
some point. Because like the last I remember even mentioning him with the JES was when they were all supposed to be banned from the arena, and Excalibur had to like say, "Oh, Sammy was escorted out, after his match or something because he had something earlier in the
Yeah,
show."
that was so hokey, but
He
hey,
wasn't
whatever.
supposed
At
to
least
be
at least
there.
they came up with a reason why he was still having
Yeah,
a match. Yeah, and then who else? Darby, they kind of did some progression with that. He's tagging with OC, and as we'll talk later, Sting came back as well on Dynamite. So he's got
yeah.
kind of a
I think they have
direction.
plans. I'm just not 100% sure what they're going to do with Darby exactly, but I know they've got some stuff cooking up, and I'm intrigued to see whatever it is. Got to get a lot out of him before he tries to climb Mount Everest, I guess.
Oh my goodness. This guy, I can't believe he's actually doing that. Well, you know what am I saying? Of course I can. I can't believe he's doing that.
I just someone needs to stop him.
He doesn't need to do this right now. But and Darby's gonna Darby, man. And then the big question is who's gonna be next for MJF?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll get something temporary up for Forbidden Door. Like, I don't even really care to speculate because they could really throw in anyone. And I think I'm gonna like most of the scenarios.
Yeah.
But after that, like his next real feud, I don't know because they haven't fully convinced me that they are going with Cole for like all in, all out time. They
I
still
don't
could because I don't know what he's doing next either. But they might wait till maybe Full Gear or something for that. And so yeah, I really don't know.
I would wait too. I'm not sure if Cole is looking quite like, I know he beat Jericho twice, but that's just Jericho. Like Ricky Starks beat Jericho too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
I mean,
mean
what
as
other
much.
baby faces right now are getting like a ton of reaction
Hey man, Kenny.
off the top of my head? Yeah, they're busy though. They're gonna be busy for a few more months.
Yeah, they are. Other than those guys and Ricky's not there. I'm trying to think.
You could still transition into one of them though for All Out. I mean, because I'm like under the assumption they're doing the Blood and Guts in Boston or around that time at least, which is
Yeah.
in July. So I think it's going to go until at least then. But still, that's enough time to build a world title match from someone out of that.
I mean, I would
Um,
personally love a Hangman
yeah.
feud. Like seriously, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. But
But
other than that, I don't know what baby faces they really have. I mean, they could do a ton of fun, like short temporary programs that would be
sure.
fine and probably build up those baby faces to be a little bit, better as contenders. But yeah, just none are jumping to the top of my head.
Yeah, a lot of people, like you said, lots of people are going to be busy. But once they're not, I'm sure even guys like Takeshita might want a shot. Like he's got history with MJF as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who goes next with him. I guess we'll probably find. It'll probably, like you said, it'll probably be somebody from New Japan first for Forbidden Door. Whether that's a guy like
and I
Okada,
have no idea what they're gonna do.
Maybe a guy like Tanahashi would make. I mean, if you want to get the heat, Tanahashi makes the most sense. And
yeah,
like Tanahashi lose nothing.
I think they might do Okada Moxley like as a straight up singles.
Me too.
The way since they're doing all this, the multi-mans in Japan, essentially.
Yes.
So it feels like that might be what they're doing, or they just do maybe another multi-man. I don't know, but with the BCC and Okada, his crew. But
they've got a lot of options.
So I'd probably rule Okada out because I think he's gonna be doing stuff there. Tanahashi's open, like he can do whatever. He could lose. They could even just give him some if they have like other if they have Osprey Omega for instance, they could just give like MJF like Ishii or someone, and just any random guy that's like a good worker that can get pops in America, which even like I think Ishii gets more pops, bigger pops in America than Japan sometimes.
He's pretty over here, yeah. I mean, you could go really crazy and like go Shibata.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Like MJF would work an amazing match with him too. Like I know like it doesn't work so well because Shibata's pure champion right now. But like as a fantasy booking, I think that match is actually
and he's like hasn't been involved in New Japan forever at this point. So but I mean, you could always just hit that theme song randomly. No one's gonna care.
No, yeah. I mean, like to your point though, like Shibata is pretty much a freaking Tony Khan talent at this point.
He is like I mentioned it in the Ring of Honor chat. I think it was Meltzer that was speculating that there may have been more heat than they realized when he changed that Wrestle Kingdom match to be an real match.
Really?
And because that he has not had a New Japan match since. That was over a year ago.
You're right, yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom. And allegedly, the story is it was supposed to be like a exhibition, like he did with Zach. And
He's like,
right before the
nah.
match, he took the mic and said, "Real match, we're doing strikes." And they did like a 10-minute match. Apparently, they were furious
And that was like a
backstage.
shoot.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I can see
And
why a
he has
promoter might be
not
furious.
wrestled for them since. He's only wrestled in Ring of Honor and AEW.
And he's having like he's taking more and more bumps.
I know.
Oh, he's scaring me, man. But I mean,
They're
hey,
safe ones though for the most part. Like when he just lands on his back like that, that should be fine. He just doesn't need to take strikes to the head.
yeah, no headbutts ever, please, ever. I don't
Oh
want to.
my god! If he ever does one of those again,
I'm gonna be pissed. I could see like, don't ever put him in there with Danielson because they're gonna do something stupid.
Jesus,
they're gonna do something they really shouldn't do.
That's a match he requested though too. Remember?
Well, of course I want to see it, but I'm worried for their safety. But I also am a bloodthirsty wrestling fan at the end of the day, right? I think we can move on to the main event.
That's what I was gonna say. So I mean, that was just absolute chaos. I mean, we could talk about some of the specific spots, but I want to start with the ending first because I don't even want to talk about Takeshita. I want to talk about Yuta pinning Kenny Omega.
Dude,
that was so
this
funny.
Yuta push is outrageous, and I'm here for it. I love it. The fact that he like slowly like wrapped him around and did the seatbelt afterwards too. And, like Kenny's
the emotions I
like,
went through when I saw he was starting to do that, since he does always get a lot of wins with that move.
You're like, oh no, it's happening right now. Yeah. And as soon as he started putting it, I'm like, he's actually gonna win here. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Nobody kicks out of this move.
Dead.
And Kenny was dead. Yeah, of course. Kenny was like,
yeah. And Brian's been selling it like on commentary so much, like the stupid thing with the pin spot a few weeks ago where Yuta pinned like poorly and Danielson just started like going nuts on him, and then he said he took him to the mountains,
Red Rock.
The Red Rock, and he's he's never gonna make a pin like that again. He's like, look at that, he pinned Kenny Omega the next day.
He's so good at this shit, man. I love Danielson. He's a gem. He was so into like his Red Rock. He's been going on about it for a week since after the match. He's been talking about taking Yuta on the Red Rock and doing planks and bridges.
Apparently that's a thing. He like always does that. Even back when he was in WWE, he's always trying to make people go and do that stuff.
Like, what? It doesn't surprise me. Like he's just living the gimmick, right?
That's why him and Moxley get along so well. They both like the fucking desert.
Yeah, it's probably because they like nature and all that stuff more than actual people, right?
Yes, I don't even know how Moxley feels about animals, but he for sure likes actually nature scenery.
Yeah, I mean he likes his one cat.
Definitely likes animals more than people. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot they have the cat. The cat that they didn't know its proper gender for so long.
For the first 4 months, yeah. I think he likes dogs too. I think he's a dog guy.
Yeah, I've seen him with dogs before,
so the ending was amazing. Takeshita did turn like we all expected.
His little side profile reveal.
I love that like Trent tweeted that was like next level cinema for wrestling. It's like you guys have no idea. Like, shut up, Trent. But he looks great, and like the follow up was great. We'll talk about that a bit after. The heat that it got on Dynamite was outrageous heat.
Yeah,
for Don Callis.
What was your favorite one single spot of the match, though? Because there were so many. I think
it was. I have two.
I said one. That was not by design because there's so many.
I'm not gonna go with the obvious one. I'm gonna say the pile driver in the truck bed was awesome.
Oh wow, that was gonna be mine.
Oh, I thought steal yours for real.
Let me take what was probably yours though, and say the exploding super kick.
Yes, the exploding super kick was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the two.
You had to get a whole license for that, apparently.
Yeah, the whole I just got like Jericho keeps mentioning he has to get a license to throw fireballs in Vegas.
Yeah, apparently it's like the same. It's like the stuff like fire jugglers and stuff have to get like that kind of like entertainer's license.
Makes sense, yeah, for that.
Use fire during your entertainment show.
Those two spots were amazing. I thought the callback to them playing the music the whole time was great.
That was funny too.
The fact they had a band was great. I know some people had mixed feelings about the band and their attire. I thought it was whatever.
Well, I thought it was perfect too because the first time they did it, it was just live music. And when Jericho stopped the music, it was a heel move. Everyone booed. They liked the music. Well, this time they liked the music at first, but after it repeated like the fifth or sixth time,
like, boom.
We're getting tired of it. So then it wasn't a heel move when they stopped the music. It was a babyface move.
Yeah, and
So
then they
I mean,
revealed the
they maybe
shirt
could have
too.
done it a little bit sooner, but it was perfect because it was a face move by that time.
It
So
got
they
a
didn't
huge
have to worry
pop.
about the Bucks getting a keyed on it. It popped for it.
Yeah, it was great. The action itself in the match too was just like there's so many crazy things that happen. Um, everybody, the crowd was going absolutely nuts. So like,
Oh, back to the exploding thing too. Did you hear? Apparently, it was supposed to be like 3, but
yeah,
the other 2 didn't go
and
off, so they only got the 1. Like
and
what?
honestly, I thought so at the time, but I didn't say anything in the chat. But like the way he was kind of kicking afterwards, he was kind of like looking down and like slapping his leg a certain
That's
way.
so funny.
You could kind of tell like he was trying to, but I wasn't sure. But now that he's confirmed it, it makes perfect
He's
sense.
probably
Yeah,
worried that
it would go
it
off
was gonna go off.
afterwards.
Yeah. Oh
Probably
my
why.
god.
Maybe that's why Claudio like kicked the shoe away afterwards to like get this thing out of here
Into
in
the
case it
freaking
blows
crowd
up.
though.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever.
Oh my
Claudio hates
god.
the crowd. He's been hostile towards them before. He hates balloons and shit too.
Yeah. The other crazy spot too, though, we got to talk about was the freaking thumbtacks in the foot. Like, what is wrong with Matt? That was Matt, right?
It was Matt.
All these crazy spots were Matt, right?
Nick doesn't do this kind of crap.
Yeah.
It's always Matt that takes the crazy spots and bleed. The only time Nick took that crazy spot is when he was like bleeding against the Lucha Bros. But usually it's always
Yeah.
Matt taking the crazy spots. And
Yeah,
that
Nick
foot
just
spot
does
was
like the
disgusting.
flips and stuff,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Matt just does all this
The
crazy
hardcore stuff.
shit.
Like he showed it afterwards, but like I saw it right away. Like the fact that at least like 6 of them were just literally like fully inserted into his heel.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
like
god.
it was like flat with his foot. It was disgusting. I don't
And
know why
they
he
broke apart inside of him apparently when they were taking them out like that. Ah, God, I hope that's not true. I hope they're just kidding. But
It's hard to tell because they're workers gonna work there, but it was pretty
I feel
gnarly.
like it's true. That's a spot like he's never going to do that again. Someone else might repeat it because they
Yeah,
thought it looked cool. He's not ever doing that again.
absolutely not. Like that was. I mean, it was great entertainment and it got like a great reaction. Everybody bled except Yuta, I think too.
Maybe I can't say I remember for sure.
I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of blood.
How did you avoid that of all people?
I think I just ended up seeing it somewhere that somebody said that too. Yeah, I don't know. Yuta looked great. Trying to think of anything else that like really stood out in the match, but like I think we hit most of it. There's not really much else to say other than it was great. It was
Oh,
crazy. It was
another
loud.
probably one of my favorite visuals they did with the split screen during the match, which I wish they would have used the split screen more.
The whole time, even
But
really.
yeah, but was when Claudio was spinning Matt backstage, like by the concession stands or whatever.
Yes.
Like he was going so fast, I was like, God, he's like actually over legit concrete. He better not drop him. But at the same time, I think Moxley was like stabbing someone with a fork.
It's the kind of match like you'll never see on like WWE just because like it's just so bloody and insane.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I think it's one of those matches that really is like special for AEW, and I like that they keep doing it every year. A version of it, whether it's that or the Stadium
they
Stampede.
definitely need to switch it up every now and then too. Like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like this one repeated this year. This concept's fine, but like I don't want it to be every year wild thing playing. Blah blah. I love the callback this year, but
No, I think
they can establish some kind of traditions, but you just got to give each one its own like twist, so they're not like too
I would
similar.
probably do something somewhat different. I'm assuming
And
too,
even
like
bring back Stadium Stampede at some point too down the road, but that also
that'd
shouldn't
be
be like
great.
every year.
I mean, Stadium Stampede, if they could like do that and at All In, that would be pretty awesome.
There's no way.
In front of like, I don't know how that would work. I don't even know how you would like film that.
Well, I guess, you wouldn't be able to do like what I thought the big charm was of Stadium Stampede is actually fighting on the football stadium,
Right?
Because they're going to be on the field, like with the ring and everything already.
That's right. Yeah. I guess there was no fans too. That's how they got so much like freedom.
The second one actually had fans, and I thought they did it well as a mix. They had like I'm pretty sure the first part of the match was pretty much pre-recorded, and but then they like fought back to the ring, which I'm pretty sure they were standing backstage waiting for their cues and did like the finish and stuff, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what. It'll be interesting to see what goes forward too. We know like the feud's continuing, but we don't
Yeah,
really
they're
know.
definitely doing blood and guts. I'm like
Yeah, I would
positive.
assume.
Not
So, what
100%
do
sure
we have they made a
what's
date
sitting.
for that yet?
No, Andrew Zarian seems pretty convinced that it's going to be in Boston though in
Boston.
July. Yeah.
Well, they did. Yeah, because they have a really big. They booked a big stadium for that one.
Yeah, they're at TD Garden. It's yeah. So that would be a show to that they're gonna make that a special Dynamite, I'm sure, in some way.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, I could see. I wonder if they're gonna stretch out like the Ibushi thing all the way. Then probably not. The way
Yeah, I
they've been
wonder
talking
how
about.
many. We'll get into this more later after we talk about Dynamite, or we even go into Dynamite from this. But I wonder how much we're going to know after Dominion if Kenny does show. Like even if he does show up, which I mean, I'm not even 100% sure he
I'm
will.
not sure he does. Yeah.
Like, I mean, is he gonna try to recruit Okada? Is Okada just gonna straight up say, "Yeah, I'll help"? Because Moxley's there, or is Okada going to be getting beat up? Can he say, something like? I really wonder how much progression we're going to get.
Yeah, I think we can slide right into Dynamite because that was the last match, anyways. And I guess well maybe before we do that, we can maybe give like an overall like your overall feeling and how much you like the pay per view and kind
Yeah,
of
I
your
gave it a
rating or
thumbs up.
whatever.
I
Yeah,
gave it a thumbs up overall. Like I agree. I even said at the time, like it might very well be their weakest pay per view to me, but I thought it was still great. So that's just saying something.
yeah,
They pretty much never miss on pay per view. I
they
mean,
don't.
they
Yeah,
only do the 4 or 5 a year. So, and they always make them good. So, like, even if it's me saying it may be the worst one to me so far, that's nothing. Like, because I still overall liked it. Great. I had a great time watching, great Sunday night, great weekend of wrestling total, even. And it was just like capped off by this. So,
yeah, yeah. I really liked it too. Like I said in the live chat, and we've talked about it a bunch since, but. I thought the middle was like kind of okay, only okay. The Cole match kind of slowed stuff down, but even the worst matches I didn't think were like horrendously bad. Like, oh my god, like this was like the worst match I've ever seen.
no, I mean, I think I said the worst match was Tony and Jamie. I mean, I stand by that, but it's also like a little hard to even consider it.
Yeah, I
But like,
didn't
I
even
don't
rate
know,
it.
like, what would my second be? Maybe the pre-show match, and I mean, I still mostly like that. I just thought it
Yeah,
dragged a little.
and even the Cole Jericho match, like even if I'm like I negative on it, like it's not like I hated the match. I didn't hate the match. I just thought it
That,
was
yeah, I definitely didn't hate it. I would genuinely prefer to forget it though.
yeah. I think the important part is I had high expectations and didn't meet them, so that sucked. But as we go into Dynamite, some of the stuff that they did afterwards with it kind of like redeemed it a little bit. So,
Yeah,
overall, yeah,
and
I'd say a thumbs up on the pay per view. Definitely worth the
yeah,
wait.
me too. And but so for Dynamite, that mixed tag, I still, after it's aired now, I 100% stand by. That should have just been the pay per view
The pay per
match.
view match,
Like it
yeah,
would have been so much better
they didn't need
just
to
doing
have the
that.
one-on-one, or they. I don't know. It's just I don't know where they would have put the one-on-one Cole match. Maybe they could have just done it after the pay per view, maybe. Because
I mean, the feud is more Cole and Britt anyway versus Jericho. Like they didn't have to
true.
do it. Like I mean,
Yeah,
I know that would be weird, but you can do weird stuff like that every now and then. Just have them move
yeah.
on. Like
I mean, they're doing it for another feud, so that we're going to talk
yeah,
about in a bit. So, but yeah, like that match, I thought we can talk about that match first, which was the main event for Dynamite. Thought it was good to great. Like there was nothing wrong with the match. It got good heat. The right people won. Thankfully, the feud seems to.
yeah. So
Uh,
glad
I'm
that Jericho
assuming the
literally
feud is
lost
over.
every match in the feud. He
It
lost
did.
to Roderick,
Weird.
he lost to Britt, and he lost to Cole.
Yeah. So like, I don't think this is gonna keep going. There's no reason for this to keep going. He lost every single time. So that's good that it's over. And yeah, like I thought the match did well, and I think everybody in the match looked. Soraya actually looked quite good in the match. She was moving well. She looked in good shape. She wasn't botching or like looking lost like she might have in like
I
some
did
other
see
matches.
one clip people spliced on Twitter. It's so funny because I don't even think it was that bad. Whereas like she like ducked her head down for like a spot where she sent Britt to the ropes, like a little too early, but like Britt was supposed to reverse it anyway.
Oh,
That's like
whatever.
a normal heel thing. I mean, it looked a little awkward, but I'm like, this is the best you guys got this week.
Yeah, that's nothing. I mean, I've seen like vets do that sometimes. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I've seen much worse from Saraya too. So.
Much worse. She looked
Sorry.
fine. She honestly, and I do really like her trash talking on the outside. She's kind of made like a gimmick of it every match where she like looks at the camera and says something like obnoxious. She's nailing that.
She's really funny
well.
for that stuff. I do
Yeah.
love her for like
Yeah.
when the others are wrestling when she's not interfering and she's just talking shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that match was fun. That feud is over, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where Cole's going forward. And I'm assuming the Brit Saraya stuff is still going to keep going. I don't see that.
Yeah, the Outcast stuff is definitely not done yet.
They haven't had any sort of like heated finale. And I mean, like, yes, like Tony won.
What if they do that in Blood and Guts instead of the BCC and Elite?
I mean, I would be fine with it. I'm just not sure that Jamie's ready for that.
I'd be nervous for all of them involved, honestly, because someone's gonna fly off the cage and they're gonna almost die like Jericho did.
Honestly, maybe it's a good. Maybe they shouldn't do that. Like from a personal point of view, Saraya, I'm not sure Saraya should be in a match like that yet, and I'm not sure that if Jamie's injured, she should be in a match like that either.
Yeah, and it really depends on what her injury is too.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like how in the dark we are. I just want to know. Yeah. I want to know an ETA.
If they want to just do like a regular 3-on-3 or whatever, that's fine. Or they can even just do like a tag team cage match if they really want to or something.
Yeah, something like that. That'd actually be okay.
What else do I have? Yeah, we can go to the Don Callis stuff, which was the main thing I want to talk about for Dynamite. That crowd was insane. That crowd was great the whole night, by the way.
Did you see any of the Twitter videos of the in crowd? Like,
so
you couldn't hear a word Callis said.
On TV, you could hear pretty good what he said, but he was still screaming. He was screaming into the mic. But yeah, if you look on Twitter, there's videos and you can't hear a damn thing he's saying. That crowd wanted nothing to do with this man or Takeshita, but mostly Callis, I think. Callis is generating most of that
heat. And Takeshita's promo was awesome too.
It was great. Just a short bit of Japanese and then a couple of words in English. His facials were great. The crowd was pissed at him. I can't wait to see him have matches.
He looked like such a villain, which is so funny because he looks so nice and sweet as a baby face.
He looks like a Yakuza villain right now. It's great. Like, it's awesome. Like I don't know. I haven't heard heat like that in AEW in a long time. Like I know Christian gets a lot of heat, but I don't think it's been to this level in a while.
I think that specific segment was louder than the stuff that Dominic's been getting in WWE too.
That's
like maybe just a little bit, but it's mostly the live crowd reactions, like the videos that I'm thinking is why. Because I mean, AEW and WWE both do it.
They both pipe in noise, yes.
Well, no, not like piping the noise, but just like raise and lower the audience volume at times. For various reasons, like they don't want it to just completely encapsulate, like the announcers and stuff, but you don't want it to sound dead and so forth. I noticed in AEW, like last year at some point for like 2 episodes in a row, it was like they were just fucking with the audience volume all episode, like they couldn't get it right. And then after that, I started noticing it in WWE more too, and they do it for Dominic. I don't think they're piping in anything. I think you can just kind of hear like where the crowd, like it kind of becomes more clear. Like it's like the main audio stream or something, and they're booing loud. But like I think it's just more like they're a little like suppressed, like during some other normal promos when they don't want that to be a main thing.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like not only was it really loud in the crowd for Dawn, but also like you can physically see so many people are like standing up and like flailing their arms and flipping them off and shaking their fists. Like people were pissed at this dude. It was great. This crowd was awesome. And like basically said that Takesha's his son now. He's lost a nephew but gained a son, and that he's starting a family.
Starting a family. And that's not what I expected him to
me neither
to start with.
and especially like they're doing a really good job at skirting around the BCC issue. They're refusing to answer. Danielson earlier in the night refused to answer on commentary as well. So they're not saying no, but they're not saying yes either. To kind of make you keep getting, because it very well could be that it just ends up that he joins, and that's fine. But it might just be its own thing too. They might actually be making another like anti-elite faction outside of BCC.
That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do. I think they'll have like maybe like a loose alliance with the BCC. Takeshita will probably be in like the next match or something, teaming with them, but it won't be like an official joining thing. I think Callis is going to be more his own stuff. This will just be like how it kind of gets set off.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be great. This angle is hot as hell. This is the hottest angle that AEW's had in a long time, I think. I'd say, you know what? I'd even say this is the hottest angle that they've had since Punk left. And what a great way to, and what a great way to start to our next segment that's going to be talking about CM Punk coming back officially. That's with some interesting reactions, huh?
It was honestly about what I expected. Maybe even a little bit louder, both ways, like louder cheers and louder boos.
Yeah.
But it was a good reaction. I pretty much expect that to be his reaction in most cities that aren't Chicago, which I think is going to be fun.
He's getting the John Cena.
Yeah, it really depends on who he's feuding with, maybe at the time too. But actually, no, it probably doesn't. Honestly, I don't think it will. Now that I think about it,
if he ever feuds with the Elite, he's getting booed like hard.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but Tony did his weird thing. He announced his weird announcement where he stared right into the camera and then just kind of like went through his lines and said CM Punk is coming back. And said,
what I don't understand why he can't do like he was doing for those Impact promos, because those are funny. I mean, I guess because he's not trying to be funny, but
because he's not playing character, I guess.
He didn't seem natural on those either, but he still felt more natural than he does for these.
Poor Tony, man. He tries so hard, but you can tell he's a little bit awkward in front of the camera, right? Like
I'm so glad this is all he does. Like, even though we've had like 3 in a row now, he does not ever need to be an actual on-screen character. He can do these announcements, anything like non-kayfabe stuff.
The only thing I would accept as far as character goes is like, I would not be opposed to him taking like a crazy bump of some kind.
Oh God! Like one for like a really special occasion to like really sell some dudes heat. Yeah, like, I think that could work. Like
something like that, but like it has to be one time.
Yeah,
but no like promos,
because it'll be a huge moment, and he can sell it by not tweeting as much.
Oh my! Can you imagine? Yeah, he like gets off Twitter for a month.
No, he just needs to do Natalia's gimmick where he pretends to have an assistant tweet for him.
Oh my goodness! You can have QT Marshall tweet for him.
Oh my god! But yeah, so Punk's back, Collision. That's what, June 17th, 16th, 17th,
2 weeks from today. Yeah. 2 weeks from today.
God, it's gonna be. You think they're gonna announce like they gotta announce like at least some matches, right?
I think they're going to.
That'll be a segment probably. He might have a match. I don't know.
I was talking to one of my friends. I haven't looked myself yet, but like apparently, according to WrestleTix, they only sold like around like 700 or 800 more tickets since the Punk announcement as of yesterday.
Yeah, that sounds right. I saw 500 first, but it's been a bit. That was like a couple days ago. Well, I think the 500 was the night of the announcement, so like right away. So yeah, it makes sense. 200,
500 right away is still pretty good. Like
they're in Chicago, right? Yeah, and they already sold like what? Don't they have like 6-7 grand?
7, I think, around 7. They were, I think they were 1,500 away from like what they had opened up. I don't want to say like
it is a pretty big stadium.
They could open up a lot more. It's United. I was there for Forbidden Door. Like 19,000. So definitely fit like twice as many in there if they want to. But I do think like I think Saturday's a good day, but I think they've still hit that market a lot. They've already done the Punk return, so like regardless how popular he is, him coming back
is still not
the same. They need something else, or they need a big match for him. They need to announce something.
That's what I think. Like like kind of like a good match, like already announced that people are gonna want to actually go see. I think someone too. I can't remember if it was like Fightful or whatever or Meltzer. They said that there is another surprise of sorts planned for Collision, but they don't know what. They don't know if it's a debut or return, but not Punk, like not just Punk.
I wonder what they mean by that. And like, because they've already announced that Miro and Andrade and all those guys are coming back. Same with Rosa, so I would assume that
Mhm.
that doesn't count because they've already been
No,
shown on
I
screen.
don't think so. Um,
Who could that be?
and also, I Mercedes is the name I've heard thrown out, so maybe it could have been her. And because she is really good friends with Punk, that actually makes perfect sense. She'd be on his show.
It
And with her being
does.
hurt, maybe they hold off. But I mean, they could still. I mean, as long as she can walk, like they could do something.
I mean, she can still be on the show and not wrestle. Like Punk was on the show for like a month.
Oh, qualifiers for the Owen at Collision too. Yeah, I could see them starting that.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Because they announced the tournament dates, but yeah, they're going to have like actual qualifiers too. Because
Let's see,
yeah,
Kyle
that's
O'Reilly
too
could be
easy to
coming
book.
back for that.
God, I hope so. I miss them so much.
He was in
That
the
would be a
Owen.
legit surprise too. That I would
Yeah,
count
I would
as
too,
qualifying.
and he was in the Owen last year, so it would make a lot of sense if he came back for this tournament.
I
I would
wanted him
love
to
to
win
see
that
it.
shit so bad.
Me too. He was my guy, man. Him and Dax had such great showings.
Yeah.
What else do I have for Dynamite here? We kind of talked about the. Oh yeah, I guess we'll do this first though, because it kind of translates into the Punk stuff. Because one of the things we talked about earlier, and one of the rumors for the Punk stuff, is that now they're saying not really the Jericho thing is going to happen anymore. It doesn't sound like that's going to be what they're going to go with. But it did sound like Samoa Joe was a direction they were going for a bit, and now they're saying that he's interested in working with Jay White, which is
Yeah,
pretty
and
interesting.
apparently all three from that latest report still seem to be like actual viable plans. They just kind of have to
Okay.
pick. It's kind of how I interpreted that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like the Jericho one wasn't as dead as they had said before, I think is what the most recent one said.
Okay, that's
I think it
interesting.
said something. I think they said Ace Steel is pushing for it specifically. So unless I read that wrong,
I mean,
not just
it would be a good feud. I'm just not sure if like Punk going against a Jericho who just lost like 5 matches in a row is like the biggest heated thing you can do right now. I maybe would
I
pair him
don't
up
think
against.
people will care because it's Jericho.
Yeah, you're
But
probably right. You're probably right.
maybe Jericho can lose a loser leaves Dynamite match to someone, so that's why he gets to go over.
And then Punk laughs at him, and they fight over that. It's
Yeah.
possible, yeah. I mean, I think maybe like it would be a good way to get him to lose the Jericho Appreciation Society as well, because I think that might have run its course as well.
Yeah, I think that might be coming soon. I'd like to see like 2.0 and Swagger maybe stay as like a comedy trio.
Sure,
But Garcia and Sammy for sure, I think can go do their own stuff.
they got to go do their own thing. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, but yeah, the JY thing is interesting because he's now feuding with FTR. They cut their first. Well, Jay White specifically cut his first in-ring promo, and I thought it was great. I thought they got like really good heat. I thought they got good reactions. From what I can tell, people online also seem to really have good reception to it. It was good stuff, and then they really like. It made me laugh because of the stuff he was saying about Dax and FTR. He really went after them being dumb and southern, and that's something that like Dax himself said on podcast that really bothers him.
Yeah, he did
So
his
like,
research for sure.
he definitely did his research. Exactly. I'm like, oh, and then him inviting him to join and then dropping the mic right before it's just so disrespectful. Jay is so good at this shit, man. He's so good at this. I'm really excited for this rivalry as well. I think it's going to be a really good match, and by that I mean that FTR against Jay and Juice. If that ends up being the match, I assume it will be at some point though. I can't see them not going after the belts at some point.
Yeah, at least for like one match. I mean, you would think maybe they even do that at Forbidden Door because like they probably can't do Aussie Open.
No, unfortunately. But yeah, that's one thing they might do, and then we're getting Ricky against Jay too next week with both other of their partners being banned. So FTR and Juice both banned from ringside. So we're kind of the obvious play here would be that most likely you're going to get a new member to DC Gold.
Yeah, I think that's. I think I've predicted that happening like twice already, and it hasn't. But this feels like the time.
It really does feel like gift wrapped, as they say, right? For
Yeah.
them for that specific kind of like the same way that we knew something was going to happen when they did the Jericho against Strong, and everybody was banned from the building. But the match itself was obviously going to go outside the building, and something was going to happen there. I think this is the same kind of case here, where like, they're kind of obviously setting this up for like somebody to help somebody. Like the obvious play is for BC Gold to get some new members.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll swerve us, and FTR will get people to help them. Maybe. But
I mean, they're still tight with like Wardlow or something. Give him something to do. Maybe even transition some of the BC or
there's Wardlow and there's what's his name?
Sean Spears.
Guy. Yeah, Sean Spears still technically no longer in the feud right now, but he was involved, and he does have some relations to.
I mean, we fantasy booked Jay White beating Orange Cassidy. What if he just beats Wardlow?
He could. He very well. I mean, I wouldn't hate that at all. Oh, TNT champ Jay White has a pretty good ring to it, and I think that it might actually be better than the international title for him. It would also make sense that Punk would want to work for him if he's going to Collision, because I do think the TNT title is going to go to Collision. It just makes sense.
That would logically make the most sense. I'm not going to get my hopes up on that though, because wrestling naming conventions are never logical in any company usually. So
it's true. I wouldn't mind the belts being like unofficially on separate shows, because I know from what we were hearing, it doesn't sound like they want to have like brand champions or anything like that.
Yeah, but I would still probably predominantly make like the TNT and maybe the TBS use only just those two, and then all the rest. I mean, you don't have to only use them on Collision or Dynamite.
No, but
just definitely try and do like have like weekly almost defenses on
exactly
that channel, basically,
because that's always been the problem. And especially with the women, it's been a problem. Like you're either only getting the TBS feud or you're getting the women's world feud, and that's it. That's what you get on one show, unless you have Rampage. So it would be nice that you can have like one show for one show for the other. Then at least you get both every week, and you get story progressions every week, as opposed to the Tony style booking, where sometimes you have to wait like 2-3 weeks for story beats, and sometimes it gets a bit long.
Yeah, so I think we can go ahead and start wrapping this up, because EC gave us a good question for the end, so we can end on this.
What's the question?
And talk a little bit more about the video game too, because he asked what the first match we're running on Fight Forever is going to be. I have not thought of that at all, honestly. God, there's so many I want to do. I'm probably going to do like something to do with Orange Cassidy and Darby, because I want to use the skateboard and Orange Cassidy's nonsense to see how that works in the gameplay.
I think I'm going to play Cody for sure. That's my first match.
Oh my God, I forgot
because it's too funny. I have to maybe I'll do something like Cody CM Punk. I think that's hilarious.
I got to do something with the freaking Molotov cocktails too. I saw a video of Moxley breaking up a pin with one.
Yeah,
throws a bomb.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's an apparent like straight up bomb you can throw at people.
I think that was what was the ESRB rating was calling the Molotov cocktails.
Okay.
But in that video, yes, it looked like he just threw a bomb.
So it's like the Kenny Omega bomb that he either botched it out. I'm not sure what. Other than that, I definitely am going to play as Cody as my first match, because I think it's hilarious. He's still in the game.
I think I'm going to buy the special edition too, just because I want the Hook and Danhausen DLC more than anything.
Yeah, that would be great. But I think the first match type I will play is I'm going to try the deathmatch stuff, the like exploding.
Yeah, I just want to. I like looking and see what all weapons are available. That's what I used to do with old games all the time when they still had variety of weapons.
Yeah, I did see there's like horses and stuff like that, but I think that's gonna.
I think that might be more cosmetic.
Yeah, it's stage props. I think for like certain match types.
That screen was for Create Arena.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, how are they gonna fucking work in horses?
Yeah,
like they'll probably be like in the background and maybe places you can't like actually enter and wrestle in. But like, are they gonna be walking around? I want to see some horses just.
It'll be interesting. Yeah. You're definitely not going to be able to ride them. It's like horse riding mechanics is already like the worst mechanics in all of gaming already. They're not going to put it in a wrestling game.
Yeah, Red Dead's like the only one I think I've ever played that's done it okay. Yeah. I remember, I think it was Uncharted 3 or 4, whichever one introduced it the right one. I hated those freaking levels.
Yeah. Even in the new Zelda, like it's still janky as heck.
Oh God, playing Ocarina of Time.
It hasn't changed. It's the same mechanics.
Probably like 2 years ago. Fucking terrible.
It's the exact same mechanics in this one. Just
yeah, a Hangman Championship worst entrance would be amazing though. I don't think WWE's done it in theirs in forever, but I fucking love in older wrestling games. You used to have like actual like props in your entrance, like cars and animals and stuff. I used to like make a call and give it who was it? Rene Dupree had a French poodle in his entrance. I'd always give that entrance to like some call. It was great.
Here I have another good match for EC. I'm gonna go and beat up CM Punk with Hikaru Shida.
Oh my god, I love that you can do the intergender stuff too.
No problem. Yeah, it's
so
great.
much better. Like, I'm gonna have so much fun doing shit like that. Like, is Rio in the game? I gotta make her beat up a Roman Reigns.
Right? I don't remember if Riho is in the. I think she is. Yuka Sakazaki is definitely in the game.
Then Rio has to be.
I would assume so. Riho's a day one. I'm like 99.9% sure Riho's in the game. I just haven't seen.
Then I'm gonna have her beat up Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's gonna be downloadable people. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Well, I don't think they're doing community creations though. I think I'd heard a complaint about that. I hope that's wrong. I saw people complaining about it. But it was like forever ago, and I'm like, it's really early that they've already said that. But yeah. We'll do it old school though. People are gonna be uploading their formulas online like everyone used to for all the old.
Hey, that's how it was in the PlayStation 1 days, and it still worked. So
yeah, I used to print out stuff and have to like
printing out stuff. My goodness.
Oh man, I made a Steam call one time on SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 where I had to map the stuff for his face paint. It took hours.
Oh, I believe it. Some people go through like the amount of detail people go through on these creations is gonna be nuts. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to wrap up. And
I think so.
Next week, I think we'll talk about Dominion for a lot, and then I guess we'll just have to see what happens on TV though, because like very open for WWE and AEW.
There could be some big things happening in all the companies this week. And I think they're doing a build up for another Impact special too. So there's going to be lots of stuff to talk
about. They had
a
quick turnaround for that. It's next
2 weeks,
Next one, not next Friday, but I think the Friday after. Or is it next Friday?
I think it's next.
It was
Friday.
2 weeks, so yeah, that's right. Yeah, they only have one more episode.
Against All Odds? I think it's called.
Yes, that sounds right. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. But all right, sounds good. So we'll see what happens and see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, guys.